Hi. I'm sure I'll do welcome back, by the way. I want to do a beginning segment on what is spirituality. I'm sure this is a topic we'll hit again and again because it's a profound and deep topic. But there are so many versions of what spirituality is: Hindu, Buddhist, Taoist, Christian, born-again Christian, Zoroastrian, Muslim, and yet they all point in the same direction. They all point through different language and different levels and different widths of understanding to a higher dimension of understanding and a greater source of guidance, greater source of momentum in our deeper spiritual life. So I'm just going to say a few things about what spirituality is, and I'd be happy to hear back from you, and we can create a dialogue, because it's not just me to you, it's us creating a reality here, discovering what these things means for humanity in the world, which I believe desperately needs guidance right now and help in understanding. So when we talk about spirituality, we have to talk about the heart. The heart is the fundamental organ of connection to humanity, to the higher dimensions. There's a terrible scientific experiment, but I quote it because it's so important to think about. I love rabbits and bunnies. My name's Peter. How could I not? But they did this terrible experiments where they took living rabbits and they took their hearts out while they were still beating them, and they put this in this medium, and they all started to beat together. I don't remember, it was just 10 seconds or a minute or two, but all of a sudden the hearts that were kind of chaotically beating, they recognized each other and they began to beat in unison. That's how important the heart is to connecting human to human, life form to life form. And so the heart, as I mentioned in another segment, embryologically comes down from the top of the notochord in the embryo, or what we would call the crown chakra, comes down into the chest. So the heart intrinsically is connected up symbolically to the higher dimensions, because the dimensions are not linear, but we'll use that as an example. And so when we think about living spiritually, we want to experience our human body. I believe the Bible says to be in the world, of the world, but not in the world, or in the world, but not of the world. I'm not a Bible scholar, but you get the idea. So part of us is here in our physical body, aware and coherent, but there's another part of us that has a bigger connection to the whole, both physically and energetically, gross and subtle. And so as we find our ability to hold that reality and this reality, what happens is we begin to get a deeper sense of what's right, where to go. I remember years ago in Santa Barbara, I was driving down the road and all of a sudden my hands turn left. And I'm going, what the heck did I just do? I'm going straight, but my hands turn left. I made a right turn, and there on the corner was the sister of my best friend from high school from Michigan, and I was in California. Because part of us is always sensing possibilities. It's sensing people around us. It's sensing opportunities, people we need to meet, people we need to avoid. And as we begin to open up both to ourselves and the higher dimensions at the same time, what we find is our connection to the possibilities, creativities, openness, and awareness is huge and vast. So I invite you, and we'll be doing practices in this process as we go on. But I invite you to think about, what does spirituality mean to you? What does connecting to higher dimensions and being in our body at the same time? Obviously, it's problematic if we're just up here, we're not in our body. And it's also problematic, probably a bigger problem in this world, is to be in our body, but miss connections to each other through the heart, and through the heart also up to the higher possibilities of perceiving and being. So think about that. We'll talk about that more. Thank you.